What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. Another phenomenal episode. We see looks like we got another villain that's going to be introduced before Kira, which, by the way, for any of you guys that watch the video, that have watched this series subbed or read the manga or whatever, can y'all tell me when we're going to see Kira? Because, I know we're still very early on in the series, but I'm like, he's the main villain, yet we still haven't seen anything of him. So, yeah, I'm kind of curious when we are going to see him, because I've heard so many great things about Kira. I just want to see Kira, just to see if he's, if he's worth the hype and all that good stuff. And, of course, the whole Converge during the 2016 Anime Awards, so I want to, really give a good grasp on between him and, the villain from Erase. Not saying that, yeah. So, yeah. And speaking of actually announcements and other stuff, one other thing I gotta mention, guys, if you guys watch my super reviews, you guys know that for the Tournament of Power, I have asked you guys, there's any episodes you want me to react to, tell me down below. I'm going to extend that same olive branch to the JoJo faithful, so if any of you guys who wants to see me do any episode reacts like I did with Hiroaka, Season 3 with, All Might versus All for One, and and this week's episode as well, tell me down below. Just tell me the episode number, and I'll do a reaction when we get to that episode on Toonami. I'll also do it for Part 5 since Part 5 is going to be airing next season. You guys know I'm not going to watch it because I'm busy watching Part 4. So, yeah. Just want to give a quick note, like I said, guys. So if you guys want me to do any episode reactions to any of the episodes of Part 4, just tell me down below, and I'll do it when we get to there in Toonami. So yeah. So let's begin. So we start it off. We got Jotaro. He's calling someone, telling about that they took care of Angelo, and tells him to take this picture from the Speedwagon Foundation, I believe, found in Egypt. So yeah. Tell him to take that, and then, he says, ironically, we know what we're doing because of him. We then get back to where we were last week when Josuke went straight up Star Platinum on Angelo. We actually find out what actually Josuke Stan's name is actually later on there, so which I was like, okay, that's cool, so we know what his name is. So after after Josuke has this little moment, he gets him in the raw. We see the rest of it, where he actually says that he kind of taught me you guys are gonna pay for this. He's gonna come for you. That usual big talk from guys when they get defeated, oh yeah, my boss or my dad or my brother's gonna kick your ass. That usual shit. It talks about how this guy that who rocks a school uniform, which, judging from the OP, I have a feeling, and we do see him later on in the episode, I have a feeling this dude's probably going to start off like a villain, but end up joining, Josuke and Jotaro on their adventure to take down Kira, judging because, if you guys remember back in Part 3, the same thing happened with Kakyoin, where, he was a villain, where he was going against Jotaro earlier on in Part 3, but of course then he joined, he joined Joseph, Jotaro, and all those guys, of course, take down Dio. So the feeling that the same thing's probably going to happen with this guy. He'll probably have maybe an episode or two to him being a villain. Then he'll probably find the error of his ways, or I don't know, Jotaro or Josuke might find some reason for him to turn over and also join them in their venture to take down Kira. Or I could be completely wrong. We'll have to wait and see for that. And so he tells him about, and then he goes into detail about when this happened. It was I believe he said it was the day before his execution. He was just chilling. He couldn't sleep because can you really see when you're gonna die, when you know you're gonna die tomorrow? I feel like you probably couldn't. So Angelo was just chilling in his room, can't sleep, so he's just kind of probably just staring at the ceiling, minding his own damn business. And then he comes in, the dude in the school uniform that of course gave him the stand. He was, as he says, he was rocking a bow and arrow, an ancient one that was over hundreds of years old. And so he's like, hey, who the fuck are you? Who the hell are you? And before he had a chance to scream, he shot an arrow in his mouth. It looks like it actually went through all the way into his mouth, that actually stuck out from the back of his neck. It seemed like went all the way through. And his eyes rolled in the back of his head, or his pupils just disappeared. He was like, He wakes back up, he's like, good, so you do, good, so you have potential, you have the power. And so he tells about the more wicked the criminal, the more potential they have, the more strength they have, I guess what equals a more powerful stand, I'm assuming. And so he talks about how that I've now given you a special ability, something Dio called a stand. And he's like, wait, what? Dio? And Jotaro is also a child that there is someone that can that can, give people the powers. I cannot say the exact word as Jotaro said it. Bestow the power of a sand. Bestow. There we go. I got it. And so now Jotaro's like, whoa, keep talking. But by this point, Angelo's standing. She got in like this kid's mouth. There was like trying to get in there. Or, I don't know what, but the glove's trying to do something to this kid, and Josuke just pulls out his comb. Combs his pompadour. It's a pompadour, right? I'm no hairstylist, but I'm pretty sure that's a pompadour because I think it's the same hairstyle that Space Dandy has. But yeah, he grabs his comb, combs his hair. He's like, yeah, good try. That ain't gonna make me mad. He's like, you better get me out of this rub before I beat you in your fugly cowlet for your poofy hair. He just insults his hair, which, as we know, like, insulting Josuke's hair is like calling Marty McFly a chicken. You immediately piss them off and they immediately want to kill you. Which is what happened. And Jotaro's like, whoa, Josuke, calm down, man, calm down, come on, we need him alive, we need to keep talking, He's like, but Josuke, he just goes full on Star Platinum, he's out with a, he just goes full on Star Platinum, and then the rock reforms where you can't even see Angelo's face minus his eyes. And he's like, Yuri. We need him to keep talking. He's like, oh, please, don't tell me you listened to any of that garbage he said. You betcha. Did you hear the stuff about Dio? Yeah? Who's Dio? And then Horus explains about how the Joestars have been phasing him for 100 years, part 1, part 3, yada, 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 yada. And then we get to Koichi's in this room, pretty much dying, but he also is like just recapping the events we've seen in the last 2 episodes about the photos and everything. He also did some reach where he talks about how that there's been a surge of kidnappings recently. There's been about 7 kidnappings of kids, which is more than the natural average. So Koichi's a little shaken up about this, because it does prove the fact that what Jotaro was saying earlier on is true. That some shit's going down this town. And we need to figure it out. And then Josuke comes in and he's like, hey, Koichi, man, well, what are you still doing in your study? Come on, man, let's go home. He's like, okay. And so then they pass by the statue. He's like, yo, Angelo. And the Koichi's like, wait, has this rock always been here? They're like, oh, yeah, it's been here, but I just gave it a facelift. He's like, oh, well, you know, Angelo. And so they keep walking. He, of course, and Koichi asks Josuke about, hey man, what's up with Mr. with Jotaro? He's like, oh yeah, he had some stuff he needed to finish, so we went back to the Grand Hotel. Okay. And so they keep walking, then they find this little abandoned house where actually Koichi notices someone inside. And so he's like, hey, Josuke, this house has been abandoned for a couple years, right? He's like, yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, no one would buy this eyesore anyway. I mean, you'd be better off just bulldozing and starting from scratch again. He's like, yeah, but I'm pretty sure I saw someone. He's like, dude, I live right there. I would have known someone. Plus, I always see realtors searching the area I forget, always searching the area. And he's like, okay, but I'm pretty sure I saw someone. Maybe it was just a ghost. Like, oh, man, come on, man. Don't talk about ghosts. Ghosts give me the willies. And then, Koichi goes through the door. He knows the foot, and this dude legit kicks the door in while Koichi's head is still in the little crack, and the little open air between the 2 doors, and it's essentially just strangling him. It's like, and just like, whoa, man, calm down, what the hell are you doing? He's like, you trespassing my property. I'm gonna fuck him up. They then have an intense stare down where the dude still pressing the door up against Koichi's neck, so he's still strangling. Which, by the way, if Koichi actually died in this moment, right now, if he actually died, would that count as would he get charged with 1st-degree murder, or would that be 2nd-degree murder? I feel like it'd be one of those, because come on, man, you're gonna kill someone over just stepping foot in your property. Really? Whatever. We then go back to Jotaro, where he's just ringing the doorbell to Josuke's house, and Josuke's mom's like, no, if it's a newspaper, we don't want it, fuck off. And Jotaro doesn't care. He just keeps ringing the doorbell until she eventually asks, she's like, oh, what do you want? I just lost my dad to a fucking stroke. Will you please fuck off? And and then she looks at him. She's like, and she thinks Jotaro is Joseph. Can someone please explain me why? because they look sure like zero comparisons. Like she looks at him for like maybe a good like maybe 2 or 3 seconds. Like she like goes up and down, and then she like starts out. She's like, "Oh, Joseph, you're back! Oh, I can't believe you're back right here when I need you the most. You're back, my love. Oh my God!" She's like, and Jotaro was just like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" And then he's like, I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is the wrong Joestar. My name is Jotaro Kujo. I'm Joseph's grandson, see? Not a wrinkle on my face." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you do look younger." Which can someone explain why? Because, as we know, in episode 1, this affair happened a few years before Stardust Crusaders happened. So Joseph is still pretty old. How does she confuse him with Jotaro? Like, I mean, even back then, like, look at Jotaro now compared to Part 3 and everyone there. They're a lot slimmer, of course. Now, granted, that's just Rocky's art style changing with the, from Part 3 to Part 4. So the whole, like, them buff in Part 3, but now they have more normal proportions in Part 4 that we can, like, let that slide. But even then, why would you think that they look remotely similar? They don't really have any similar facial features or really anything. Maybe they have a similar body type, but that's about it. But even then, Jotaro does, like, since when does Joseph wear hats and, like, a white coat? I don't know how she confuses the two, but that's just me. And so she asks, he asks her, like, where is Josuke home? And then she zones out, and he's like, "Hey, I asked you if Josuke's here." She's like, "Oh, the school days just ended, so he's not home yet." He's like, "All right, I see." So then he goes over to, so he says he'll come back later tonight. He then goes over to the cab where where I guess there's like it's to like give her like a peace of mind or something. He tells her, like, if Joseph was here, he would, like, he would do everything. He would, like, do everything he can to protect you. He would run right in the face of danger to protect you. But since Joseph is now an old man and with a pissed off wife of over 50 years, Joseph ain't leaving. He ain't going nowhere. Because, of course, like I said, he's old. He's like I think he's like, what, in his 70s now in Part 4, if I remember correctly? Because I think he was in his 60s in Part 3. I could be wrong with the ages. But yeah, Jotaro, he's old, so he can't really be going out there kicking ass and taking names like he used to back in Part 2 and 3. And so then she tells, like, that's why I'm here, until I be in his place. And, it tells Jotaro that, her father's death was a real shame, and that, he's here to, I guess, be, like, to protect her, I guess. Or to, like, I guess that's another reason why Jotaro's here. At least that's how I got it. It seems like he said, like, yeah, I'm here to, like, pretty much just take Joseph's place, in a way. Like, I guess it's like a protector or like a guardian angel or something. Anyway, we then get back to Josuke. Actually, before we get to Josuke, Jotaro gets back in the cab where he actually talks about, we actually find out that, like it was actually mentioned earlier when he first mentioned, when he was telling Josuke everything about Dio and everything. He talks about how, back in Part 1, Dio didn't have a stand. Nobody had a stand because, they were using hormone, and then, after, Part 2, actually, Rocket was one of those, how am I going to keep JoJo keep going like this? So then, of course, came up with the idea of stands. Yeah, you can look up the whole details of how stands came to be on your own time. But yeah, as we knew from Part 1, Part 2, they use hormone, not stands. So he's like, okay, how did Dio suddenly get a stand back in the 80s, in 87? We then find this picture, and now in the cab, he has this picture of Inyaba with a bow and arrow. The same bow and arrow from what it looks like we saw earlier on in the Angelo flashback, where it looks like the same bow and arrow looks like that Inyaba was originally holding, which I'm guessing she used that arrow to, of course, fire in Dio, and that's how Dio got the world. Okay, and so yeah, now back to Josuke. So yeah, the dude's still like strangling Koichi. I like the little transitions they had because, like, as we know, Josuke lives pretty much like on this neighborhood. So I like the little transitions they have from Jotaro's car to this. I like the transitions overall that we've had in Part 4 are actually really good. So props to David Productions for that. Anyway, so then Josuke keeps trying to, like, you do, like, let him go. I'm gonna beat your ass. Yada 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 yada. And so he's like, "Hey man, you shouldn't be threatening the guy that you're trespassing on." And so then, there's then the dude up in the window shoots an arrow at Koichi right through the neck. And blood, of course, spears out, all that good shit. And Jotaro's like, Josuke, so many JoJo's, it's hard to keep track of them all. Josuke is like, hey man, why the fuck did you do that? What the fuck? What's wrong with you? And he's like, and the dude upstairs is like, well, you know why I shot him with that arrow? Because that goon over there is Josuke Higashikata. So you're Josuke Higashikata. He's like, it's all, and then we find the dude's name is Okuyasu, and those two are brothers. And so then he finally lets go of the door, and Josuke and Koichi's corpse just falls to the ground. And we actually then find out what Josuke's stand's name, Shining Diamond. He says hey man, get out of my way. So there's still enough time for me to save him with Shining Diamond's abilities. He's like, nah man, I let you get through that. I'm gonna kill you. And then we found this dude that Okuyasu's stand is called the Hand. Marvel. Because as you guys know, the Hand, Iron Fist, all this stuff. But I'm probably reaching with that one. Anyway, he pulls out his stand. I like his stand design. His stand design looks pretty cool. And so then and then he starts walking up to Josuke, and then Josuke just hits him with a nice quick jab, makes his lip bleed a little bit. He's like, I have to admit, you're pretty fast. And then his bro upstairs, they're being like, Okuyasu, controlling a stand is like driving a car. Any nitwit can do it. But if all you got is air between your ears, you ain't got the balls to drive. He's like, hey man, why are you throwing shots at me? He's like, because there was a time when your stand, the Hand, damn near made me shit myself. So get it together and kill Josuke Higashikata. And actually, also, Josuke literally just walks right past her, right to Koichi. He's like, hey man, I was talking to my bro. He's like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. He's about to start healing him. But then he starts running towards Josuke. He's like, man, if you want to piss me off, keep running, then alright. He keeps running. Josuke manages to grab his right hand. And he's like, hey, look over my right. He's like, there's something off about it. And then, the Hand starts kneeing him and kneeing him in the stomach until he eventually lets go of his right hand. He then he wonders, and then he's about he does this one attack where this green stuff comes out of his right hand, right about to hit Josuke, but Josuke manages to dodge it. Well, then he notices the sign, which essentially said no trespassing. He's not doing it. It says now no passing, and he's like, your stand makes shit disappear, doesn't it? He's like, yes. It's like teleporting. As I grab some space, it disappears and closes like it was never there. It's like, okay. And so then, of course, then Josuke gets his ass beat when he uses his stand to just, just grab some random space right in front of Josuke. Just grabs it, and then Josuke comes right towards him as a pseudo teleportation, I guess you can call it. And then he does it over and over again while punching Josuke when he comes near. He gets some jabs and some some uppercuts, all that good stuff. And then once the last time he does, he's like, all right. And then Josuke realizes yep, you are truly hard hit. Then he looks behind Josuke, and these little plants that come flying towards him, and they'll nail him right in the face, knocking him out. Josuke's like, alright, but it's probably a pain in the ass when he wakes up, and he's probably still trying, so I should probably take care of him. So then it looks like he's about to start strangling him to really knock him out. I don't really know, because he just puts his arms around his neck, when he then notices Koichi's corpse is being dragged away. So I don't know if he was trying to strangle him, or if he was just because I don't know what else you would do when you're grabbing somebody's neck. Anyway, he then runs over to get Koichi. I gotta say, the music here, phenomenal. I love the music here. That music was great. I love that song. The OST for JoJo's always been great. We then head back to Jotaro. He talks about, of course, Inyaba, and about the bow and arrow. Then someone probably picked it up after Inyaba's death. Yada 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 yada. We then head back to Josuke, where we finally get a good look at the other brother with his bow and arrow. Tell him this arrow is irreplaceable. Yada 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 yada. And that's where the episode ends, with they having an intense stare down. So yeah, overall, I really, really love this episode. This episode's really good. JoJo is once again killing it. I'm loving it so far. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Kira. I'm definitely curious what's going to be next with this guy who bestowed power to stands. Looks like Koichi's dead. And I don't really feel much just because we didn't really get to know him that well. But I'd say, yeah, Koichi was pretty cool. It's a shame he's gone. It's a shame, although maybe not. Maybe the dude is still alive and he's just like a late bloomer. Maybe, I don't know, after a while he'll wake back up and he gets a stand for all I know. I don't know. So yeah, so overall this episode a 9.5 out of 10. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you feel like it. Leave those rocks below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.